Good day, race fans. I'm Unsilent.
Formula One, the greatest competition. Cars designed and engineered by the brightest minds. Driven to the edge and beyond by the world's chosen few. Teams rise and fall. Drivers come and go. But echoes of the past always remain. Competing in arenas that have stood the test of time, where glory and failure are separated by fractions, where victories are rescued from the jaws of defeat. This is where history is made. This is Formula One.
And this is Formula One 2013, as you probably guessed from the title of the game. Released in 2013 by Codemasters, this was the fifth game in their current stretch of Formula One game licensing. So they had the 2009 game, which came out on the Wii, and then 10, 11, 12, and then 13 being the fifth one. This is considered either the best game they've released in this stretch since 2009, or the top two along with 2016. 2017 is apparently going to make a play to make the top of the list of Codemasters F1 games. And what puts 13 on top of the list, besides apparently very good racing and very good handling, and what 2017 also has is the classic cars. And that's what we're going to do today.
Welcome to Formula One 2013.
Hey, look, it's a Mercedes. And now that's a good thing, but back then, I think they had a win. They might have had a win or two back in 2013, but this was still Red Bull's time to shine. It wasn't until 2014, and these guys picked up the pace. Now, for this little Let's Play mini-series that we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks, I created a new profile. I haven't played this game in years and years and years because I've just been moving on to the next new game every time. So I created a new profile because I saw I had beaten some of the classics on the old bronze and silver difficulty, but I want to do it on gold. I'm not one that usually goes for hard difficulties, but it's a racing game. I do racing games. This is sort of my thing. How many racing games have we done on this channel? So I think it's time we go to F1 Classics and try out some old cars.
This is F1 2013. In this mode, you'll have the opportunity to race classic Formula One cars from different eras in a number of different game modes.
Now, the first voice you heard during the intro was that of David Croft, who is now the voice of Sky F1. That voice you just heard, for F1 fans, you don't need me to introduce that, but for everyone else, that is Murray Walker. He is the voice of Formula One for decades and decades. He retired in 2001. And there are still, most fans will associate Formula One with the voice of Murray Walker. Although I think at this point I've been watching Formula One for longer than... I've been watching Formula One since, 96, when Jacques Villeneuve came over. So I've been watching Formula One for longer without Murray than with Murray. But I've spent a lot of it with Martin Brundle. And his famous call of when Schumacher turned into Villeneuve in the championship decider in 97, it's like, Schumacher turns in, hits him, falls off the track and says, "I don't think that worked." A master of understatement Martin might have been. So, we are going to play the scenario mode. In scenario mode, there are 6 different scenarios that you have to go through. 3 in the 1980s cars and 3 in the 1990s cars. Today, we're going to start with the 80s cars, but I want to go through what the cars are first. Because we've got 5 1980s cars and 6 1990s cars. We've got a championship-winning Williams FW07B powered by the venerable Cosworth DFV engine. The Lotus 98T, which was powered by a Renault engine, a 1.5-liter Renault. This was piloted by Ayrton Senna. It also happened to be a 1,200-ish horsepower engine in the back of this thing. That's more power than the cars produced now, even with the hybrid. You've got the less said about it better Judge V8 powered Williams FW12. The how did this thing not do better than it actually did Lotus 100T, because it had the same Honda engine that powered McLaren to 15 out of 16 wins this season. And the hey, we actually broke McLaren's perfect season Ferrari F1-87C. So let's go to scenario mode.
hold off the faster cars and finish first.
So that is, again, Murray Walker explaining what this is. Oh, see, that's how long ago I've done it. Apparently I'm 11,000th in the world. We're just going to go straight to gold. So we're going to go gold. We're going to start with this one. We're just going to kind of go left to right and work our way across like that. So let us start by driving this old Cosworth DFV. The DFV had about probably 500 horsepower at this time. So when you consider the other cars had like thousands of horsepower, it's like the Lotus will have more than twice the horsepower we have. It's like, oh my god, we're dead. Do you think we can pull it off in gold? No, but let's give it a try.
With the cars lined up in reverse order, can the two 1980s Williams drivers hold off the faster cars starting behind them?
And then Prost, 4-time Formula 1 World Drivers' Champion.
Okay, you need to get past your teammate as quickly as possible. Come on, we can do this.
Old style graphics, I remember this. 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. Let's try and get that wheel spin under control. We got it. Now, and then it's on the inside, so we're just going to try and... Nope, we got somebody else on our inside, so we're just going to hold the outside. That's an Andretti helmet. I think that was Mario. So we'll just dive to the inside, try to get to the inside of him. Spin our way through Druid's hairpin. Alright, we've managed to hold on to second rather successfully, which is about where I would have rather been ahead of Alan, but we've managed to hold on to... Oh my god, he's mowing us down. I told you he had 1,200 horsepower. We're just gonna drive defensive. Oh my god, this thing is a beast. Oh, we're gonna go up the inside of Alan. And we're gonna use him as a blocker. Okay. That was a hairy opening lap.
Well done, you're in first. Your teammate should hopefully slow the chasing pack down. Let's create a gap.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Thanks, Jeff. I don't know if this guy's name is Jeff, but his name was Jeff in F1 2016. And maybe 2015 as well. Under the bridge, into Druids. The first turn is Paddock Hill Bend, and that's the only two names. Try and get the back end in line. Alan's doing a good job of holding him up. If you look at the mini-map in the bottom left, Alan's running P2, so he's running as a blocker to me. This thing, I'm just basically hoping I can make up time, not on the straights, but in the turns. So I'm getting really aggressive in the turns. And hoping that I can just keep both ends of the car in line. You don't even get to pick up the setup in this mode. It's not quite flat. It's a little touch on the brakes. A little more than a touch in that one. Now I've got 3.6 over... Oh, Mansell. Ah, son of a bitch. They're coming for me. Because Mansell is in an 88 Williams. So Prost has let him by, and you can see the gold dot is Prost. Whereas the blue star, that's the next car behind me. So he's already gapping Alan. So it's now just a matter of hold on and hope for the best. We had a 4-second gap. We've lost half a second on this lap. Or actually, we've just lost half a second in that sector of the lap. And we're going to power across the line and pick up gold. That was this. This is such a fast track. You don't get a chance to really breathe and think your way through it.
The much slower FW07 showed that it's not to be forgotten today by finishing ahead of younger and quicker cars and grabbing first place. Brilliant stuff.
Well, thank you for the praise, Mr. Walker. Praise from Caesar. Well, he wasn't a driver, but... Alright, here's a take a look at the first corner. Man, oh, I got into the gravel too. Now, what did I do with Mario here? Oh, I hit him, I cut him off, and then I cut Druids. Well, that's just... well, that's just amateurish. Oh, yeah, Back in the good old days where they used to have the driver's blood type at hand in case they needed it. Because racing was so safe. You saw Alan Jones, who drove this car to the 1980 Formula One World Drivers' Championship with an A positive on there. That wasn't his, that wasn't how good a driver he was, no.
Hold off the faster cars and finish first.
That was how much he needed. That was the type of blood he needed in case he needed it.
Seize the moment and pass the Ferrari drivers to finish first.
Alright, so we are going to be driving the 1986 Lotus. We are going to be doing our best Ayrton Senna and try and take both Gerhard Berger and Michael Schumacher in the 88 Ferrari. So we are going to start in P3 and the goal is to pass him for P1. At Jerez. Spanish, so the J is like an H and the Z is like a TH. Jerez.
The Lotus driver's working hard to stay close to the two Ferraris. He could simply hang on to third, but with both Ferraris needing to serve a drive-through penalty, I reckon we'll see him push for first.
Well, let's see how close we are to the Ferraris. 700 meters, that's quite a distance. Oh boy, the brakes on this are not very good. Oh no, I've spun. Shh, don't tell anyone I just did this. Now I've gone off. There we go. Now we're under control. Oh, there, I see them. They're just coming out of the pits now. The race is on. Man, this thing is loud. Now, it's not quite like the turbo Formula 1 cars of yore actually were. I remember reading one driver say it was kind of like you put down the throttle and then you waited a couple seconds for the turbo lag. And then you were shot out of a cannon. It wasn't quite as instantaneous power delivery as this seems to be, as we're closing up on the first of the Ferraris. A lot of wheel spin in this thing. It's 1200 horsepower, I don't expect much else. Like I said, shh. Alright, managed to hold it a little better through the final hairpin that time. We've a lot closer this time, this first time, to the Ferraris. Oh, ow. Are we gonna let him have this one? No, Canadian going up the inside of Schumacher. Into dry sack. Yeah, well, that's about right. Alright, we aren't quite as good as the Ferrari on the straights, but we definitely have him in the turns. Now, this is where we got Schumacher the last lap. We are definitely not getting Berger here this lap. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn up the fuel mix and try and get a little more power through. They kept decreasing the fuel size of these cars in the 80s. Decreasing the boost pressure, decreasing the fuel size, or the fuel tank size, in order to try and slow them down. This was in the time before refueling. So when you started with 250-ish liters on board, and they reduced that down to like 190 from 251 year. So you start with that much fuel on board. That you started with that, you finished with that. Now we've got one lap. Oh, I missed that. That's my bad. I'm gonna do that again. Sideways. We're gonna miss a really good overtaking opportunity here. Oh, are we gonna go around the outside of Berger? We've gone around the outside of Berger in the hairpin.
You made that look easy.
I think I did. Am I really on gold difficulty?
Fantastic. You're now in first. Let's push over the next lap to create a gap.
Thanks, Jeff. Oh, I'm pushing too hard though. I think he hit me. Now I've got both Ferraris right there. Last of the late breakers into the hairpin. Try to keep the back end in line. And we're going to come across the line in position number 1. Mission accomplished. He had that fist in the air. That was a fight. That was a fight to the end.
Incredible scenes! Drive-through penalties for Ferrari meant the 1986 Lotus finished on top.
Holding your nerve, that's about right. That's definitely what I had to do through that one. Also went with the old school style helmet. They have a lot of helmet choices, like 50 different helmets you can pick from. I went with something a little old school, a little red and black Gilles Villeneuve-ish. Also, does it look like there's a dick butt drawn on there? I'm not entirely sure what that is. It's supposed to be on there above Mario's name. Mario never drove this car. He was busy with IndyCar at this point.
Push for a podium finish.
Oh, that's it? Okay. So, having been given the 1988 Ferrari, you sit at the back of the grid with Gerhard Berger, even though you have the fastest car in today's F1 Classics race, giving you the advantage. The grid is full of F1 legends, so top 3 finishes isn't guaranteed. You have to fight your way through the pack and into the lead as quickly as possible, but at the same time manage your fuel. Okay. Well, how hard can that be, right? Well, it's gold difficulty, so probably very.
Here we are at Jerez for another classic event, and we're in for an exciting race today with the 1988 Ferrari starting as favourites. Now, they've got a performance advantage, but they'll have to push on from the back of the grid, so we should see plenty of overtaking.
We're confident you have the right conditions to take a podium today. Let's do some overtaking.
1988 Ferrari was notorious for being thirsty as all get out. So we will have to, I guess like they said, manage the fuel. Let's try and sneak up the outside. Just hold on to it. Get brave under the brakes. Try and sneak my way through the gap there. That'll look good from the external camera.
We need you to keep pushing. We need third or better.
I got 4 more laps. Actually, this thing handles very, very nicely compared to the Lotus. The Lotus was very harsh. Okay, that was me. That was all me. And we've been overtaken by twice world champion Mika Häkkinen, who we will proceed to return the favor to. The power delivery isn't quite as harsh as the Lotus 98T, which is nice. But that being said, it's not like it's got a massive performance advantage over the rest of the field to the point where I can slice and dice through them now that they're starting to string out a little. Down into the hairpin, we're going to take Hill for position number 5. Except he's going to take us right back. I can see him in my mirror. They're just barely visible at the bottom of the screen.
You're now in 5th. 2 more places. Come on, you can do it.
You don't have to talk to me all the time, Jeff.
Just leave me alone, I know what to do.
Jones is doing me a treat by holding up Mansell just ahead of me. But I got Damon right behind me. I think he tried to take... Whoa, I've lost it. The back end came around. Now I've lost all my progress. Great. Oh, we're gonna take both Lotuses. How are we doing on fuel? Just at optimal. We can't really push on it yet.
We're into the final couple of laps.
Dive bomb. Ammo. And we've taken Emerson Fittipaldi for P6. Just held up by Hill. Just a little bit through there, but we're going to try and take him under brakes. Oh, hit Nigel a little bit. Now Nigel's looking... Oh, he got blocked by Jones through there, so we're going to take him there. Oh, hit Allen. Hit a world champion.
Push a little harder now. Bring it up to 3rd.
We got hit by Nigel going through the hairpin as well. But we are in prime position here. 1 lap to go and only 1 position left to take. It's been an overtaking master. Ugh. I think I might have hit him there.
We're up to 3rd place. That's a podium position. Good job. Now hold it until the end.
No problem, Jeff.
Just watch the aggression when you're overtaking. We don't want to lose places because of a penalty.
Ah, no worries, Jeff. I got him. P2 it is. We'll take that. I was hoping to make it to P1, but P2 is a pretty good result nonetheless.
The Ferrari may have been the faster car, but the crowd are surprised it was able to make up all those positions and finish on the podium. Absolutely superb.
Why, thank you, Mr. Walker. At least you aren't surprised. You praised the great driving that I put forth. Not as happy as Senna and Prost, 4-time Formula 1 World Champion, but I can't be unhappy with this. So that's the first 3 of 6 scenarios finished.
Turn the race around by finishing on the podium.
But then you've got this 99 Ferrari, this 92 Williams, and this 96 Ferrari. So we've got 3 more races to go, but that's the 1990s version of the scenario mode that we are going to get to next time out on Formula 1 2013, because that's all the time we have for this time out for F1 2013, the classic edition, the classic scenario mode. And we'll have more next time out, but that's not till next week. So thanks very much for joining me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're new. Share on social media. Follow on social media. The social media handle is Unsilent on Air, and that is for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. And until the next time, I'm Unsilent. Thanks very much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.